lot of these situations, man. It's been very fortunate. Yeah.
Well, if you can give us like the Reader's Digest version. I know you started in Louisiana, spent some time in Austin, went to Memphis, and then back to wherever you went, and then you started, your career got rolling. Tell me about your initial exposure to music and how you became a bass player.
Oh, man. Guitars and movies. No, I was fascinated by the soundtracks of those things, field recordings and stuff like that. Even when I was a little bitty kid, with the drums drove me nuts, and the chanting and all that kind of stuff. So it was like, oh man. And then it was just osmosis. My mother, nobody in my family for generations probably were musical, but there was always music in the house. Records playing, radio, that kind of stuff, and in that time period, and also my neighbor. The two sons, the two neighborhood sons there, turned me on to Jerry Lee Lewis and Elvis Presley back in the 50s. A little bit older than I was, so I got the bug early on, and then of course the surf music and that, and all, just music in the air.
Okay.
Yeah.
What attracted you to the bass?
The rhythm, the bottom strings. Just that's what I always heard. Even when I got an acoustic guitar when I was about 11 years old or something like that, but I always played on the bottom strings. I just liked the sound of it, So it was always bass. Okay.
Did you start listening to music differently after you discovered the bass and picking out the bass, and maybe even noticing or taking the initiative to find out who the bass players were on those recordings?
Well, yeah, I did. It did change the way I listened. As it would, because I'm trying to figure out how, to be a better bass player, and so I'm kind of honing in on all that. And yeah, I was interested in who was doing it, and it was harder back then to figure it out, so it was all, as soon as the self-contained groups started coming out, the Beatles and obviously, all that kind of stuff, that was easy, you knew who that was. But on the records, a lot of the records that I liked, pop music especially, and R&B, you didn't know.
I'm waiting for James Jamerson's name to come up here.
James Jamerson, obviously,
About what would be about a mile away from from where all that magic happened.
Yeah, Pit, right?
Hitsville, USA.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, so Jamerson, obviously, and then Tommy Cogbill. I always have to mention him because Cogbill was a Southern Jameson to me. With his approach to it. And then David Hood, and those cats, and Norb Putnam, and of course in the LA people, that once I figured that out, there's Carol Kay and Joe Osborne and that generation, Ray Pullman and all that. They were brilliant.
So how did the career get rolling? As I mentioned, you played with so many people. Oh, and I didn't mention that you were on the list of the 100 greatest bass players of all time by Bass Player magazine. What a distinction.
Oh, I know.
Well deserved.
Well, thanks. I didn't see that one coming, but I'll take it. Yeah. As far as a career, I played in a number of bands growing up. So a lot of cover bands. Playing in Louisiana circuit, chicken wire clubs, all that kind of stuff. So I had to learn how to play a lot of different kinds of music.
Excuse me, what's a chicken wire club?
It's to protect.
Tell this Detroit boy.
Oh, the chicken wire club it has wire in the front of the stage to protect the band from bottles and things being thrown at them.
So literally, right?
Yeah, it's literally. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And so anyway, we were playing for our lives a lot of times, and so anyway, it was a very valuable experience to be able to be versed in just about every kind of music, except jazz. We weren't playing jazz or anything like that. Not for the peeps.
For yourselves, though?
Not then. I was playing rock and roll and R&B, and which I still do. I can act like a jazz player, but I can't play jazz.
What did my son tell me? A rock guy plays 3 chords for 50,000 people, and a jazz guy plays 50,000 chords for 3 people.
And then there's that aspect of it. I'd rather own than rent.
Okay.
But no, I'm just kidding. No, I just that is to be a serious jazz player is such a dedication. I didn't put the time in early enough. Anyway, point is, that yeah. So I knocked around, you know, like you were talking about, you know, Louisiana, Austin, Memphis, back to Austin, and I went to Nashville, met up with some friends there, met some people who knew some people, and I started doing demos, and then it just started to roll from there. You know, it started, you know, a whole group of us sort of rode it up.
This was around late 70s?
Late 70s, I'd say. Well, I got to Nashville in 77, and it took maybe a year and a half or two to start working, you know, which I was pretty fast, you know.
How long would it take someone now? Everything else being equal.
Oh, it's hard to say. It's really, because it's so circumstantial, you know, about who you know and how you know.
But that's not new. It's always
been that way. And you know, the prevailing technology now, you know, it may be easier because of the number of home studios and people. You know, it doesn't have to be so organized, and that's so, you know, they can, you know, you could get to it quicker. I don't know. I really don't know.
There wasn't a best and talented bass player like Michael Rhodes. Born on September 16, 1953, Michael Rhodes sadly passed away on March 4, 2023, and his death came as a total shock to the country and rock music world. Michael Rhodes died at his home in Nashiville, Tennessee at the age of 69, surrounded by his family. Details regarding his cause of death hasn't been made public at this time, and the family asks for privacy and respect as they mourn the death of their loved one. Michael Rhodes grew up in a family full of music, like he revealed in the interview, and his music rose to prominence in the 1970s. Though Michael Rhodes lived a private life, his love for music has been loud, and always credited his family for teaching him and instilling the knowledge as regards to music in him that helped him throughout his career. Michael Rhodes is survived by children from his 2 marriages, and our thoughts and prayers are with Michael Rhodes' family and loved ones, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. Don't forget to subscribe to TAJ News Media and turning on your bells so that you don't miss out on any video that we upload. I love you. Bye bye.